This year, there were some awesome new units launched in the power station space. We've noticed lots of power stations are getting bigger, quieter, and coming with features that allow them to integrate seamlessly into your home. And while electricity rates continue to rise, we're seeing a lot of these big power stations give you the ability to do things like peak shaving, which helps you actually get a return on your investment. And fortunately, we've been lucky enough to get a ton of new units here at the lab this year. We've put them all through some real life testing and been hands-on with all of them. And today we're gonna share with you guys our favorite unbiased and unsponsored power stations of 2025. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. Today we are looking at large power stations. We're gonna go basically 3,000 watt hours and up. We made an entire separate video on smaller power stations, which is already live on the channel if you guys wanna go check that out. And we're also gonna be making one on traditional solar gear like inverters, batteries, and panels, if that's something you guys are looking for, so make sure you guys are subscribed if you're not already. So all of the big power stations that we're gonna look at today can not only be used for off-grid or portable solutions, but they all have the ability to work as a light home backup solution. Any of the products that we talk about in today's video, we will leave links to in the description down below, as well as any coupons we can get to save you guys some money. But Black Friday is coming, and Tiny Baby has negotiated some really good discounts for you guys during Black Friday with a lot of these brands. So make sure you guys are subscribed for that as well. We'll publish a whole sales video kind of sharing the codes that we were able to get to help you guys save some money during that time. But looking at our favorite large power stations, we're gonna start on the smaller end, which is about 3,000 watt hours, and we are gonna work our way up. First up, we got the Anker F3000. This unit right here made the list because it performs extremely well. It was really efficient in our testing. It has a very low idle consumption, and we really like the layout and design of this. It's got the classic suitcase handle on the bottom. It's got the wheels on the back, so it's super easy to tow it around, pick it up, bring it with you wherever you're going. And as always with Anker products, there's just a lot of attention to detail in the little things. For example, it has a true 30 amp plug on the front. It retains its 12-volt car socket, which is perfect if you're trying to take it camping or in an RV or something like that where you might have 12-volt accessories. It has a 3,600 watt inverter and a 3,000 watt hour battery. We like that Anker kept the big unibrow light on this. A lot of power stations are getting away from lights these days, which makes no sense. This is a heavy unit. If you store it in your basement or in your garage and you have to carry it around with two hands, having a light makes a huge difference. It works with Anker's bi-directional inlet box, and Anker as a company has probably some of the best customer support in terms of like phone call support or sales support on the phone out of any power station company in the game right now. And right now, it's relatively affordable. It's about $1,200 with our code. Next up, we got the Pecron E3600. This made the list because the double Pecron E3600 bundle, where you get two of these units with the 240 volt hub, might just be the best deal on portable power on the internet this year. When you pair the two of them together, you have a 7,200 watt inverter, just over 6,000 watt hours of battery capacity. You have the ability to run 120 and 240 volts, and you have access to double the plugs and ports. So you have on this unit already, you have 420 volt house plugs right on the front. You'll have a total of 8. You have two 30 amp connections, though when you're tied to your 240 box, you don't have any 30 amp connections. And you can expand the system up to like 30 kilowatt hours. The expansion batteries are like $699 before Black Friday pricing and our code. They are like the cheapest power station to expand on the market. It's just dumb silly. It performed pretty good in our testing. It honestly has a really good solar input as well compared to the battery size. And even if you only buy one of them, but specifically if you bought the double bundle with the 240 volt hub, the cool thing is you can have two individual power stations. So you could easily pick this one up and take it camping while leaving another one at home. You could lend one out to a neighbor or a friend, and you still have power and now they have power. Whereas a lot of these other comparably spec'd units in the price range, you just get one. So there is something to be said for having two power stations. And right now, for two of these power stations with the 240 volt hub, it's like $2,000 with our code, which is insane. Like I don't know how Pecron plans to stay in business at these prices, but it is a really good deal. Next up, we got another Pecron. This is their new design, F3000. This one's a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller, a little bit more portable than the E3600. It's also a 3600 watt inverter with a 3072 watt hour battery. It gives you tons of plug and port options on the front. You have a true 30 amp plug right here. You have 520 volt house plugs. It's got a really nice screen. It's got your 12 volt car socket. It can't be doubled and do the whole 240 thing like the E3600. That's the main difference. That's why they were kind of two separate things that we wanted to talk about. And it is expandable. We've actually used this a ton here at the lab, just from running equipment within the lab to health and safety, taking this to his tiny home and actually running the entire tiny home with this power station and some solar. We've beat on this a lot, and it is a really good unit. It hasn't let us down yet. We've been really happy with the performance, and it's dumb cheap. It's even cheaper than the E3600. This thing right now is about 850 bucks. Throw our code in a Black Friday sale at that. That is like, it's like free. It's like a free power station. And the last unit in this category is the Bluetti Elite 400. Now this one technically could be in the bigger size category, but the inverter on it is actually like really small. It's kind of like a weird power station. So we just threw it at the high end of the small category. Bluetti has actually been making a comeback on the channel this year with their Elite series. We got their Elite 200 and 100, and they were honestly really good. And this Elite 400 was just another good product from them. This unit has a 3,840 watt hour battery with a 2,600 watt inverter. Now that is kind of a weird mix up. It's basically not much of a bigger inverter than like the Elite 100 and 200 series. But what's cool is a lot of times you're looking at a power station and you need more battery, but you don't need a bigger inverter. You just need to run a couple essentials in your house. Maybe you're just trying to power your fridge when the power goes out, or run a few appliances in your home. But most of the time you either have to buy a small power station with expansion batteries, which just becomes messy, or a big power station, and then you have an inverter that's way bigger than what you need, and you're paying way more than you should be paying just to get that battery size. What's cool with this is that it has a built-in bigger battery and a smaller inverter. So it's basically like buying a small power station with an expansion battery, but they just put it into one package, which is kind of cool. I feel like a lot of people will actually benefit from a unit like this. In our testing, it performed really, really well, and it has a good look and feel. Like, it has nice rubber tires. The suitcase handle actually has like a nice rubber grip. It's got the bump stops all over it. It feels like it's meant to be dragged around. A lot of power stations with these wheels and handles and stuff, they look like they're meant to be dragged around, but they don't feel like it. They feel like they're gonna explode when you take them outside. This unit actually just hit the market like a week ago, but right now it's about 1,400 bucks with our code, and hopefully a Black Friday sale, it'll be just a little bit less, but even at that price range, it's still a really good buy. Moving on to all of our bigger units, all of these ones are 240 volt capable. Not that some of the earlier ones weren't, but in this bigger size range, if you don't do 240, you didn't come to play. I would know, because I fucking brought my bag, okay? I'm here to play. And first on the list, we got the Anker F3800 Plus. This is a nice upgrade from the original F3800, which was and still is a really good power station. But this one just addressed a couple of things that the F3800 didn't do wrong, but people just didn't love about it. This one has a 30 amp plug on the side, as well as a generator twist lock, which is nice. The other one had a 50 amp plug on the old F3800. This is a little bit more practical if you want to use it in an RV or any other use case where you might just want a 30 amp plug. They fixed the solar input. It now works. The F3800 solar input was like insanely hard to achieve. The voltage range and everything on this one is really good. And it's still a really well designed and nicely built unit. It's got the wheels, it's got the caster wheels on the front, it's got the handle on the top, which Dylan may or may not have melted permanently closed, but his title is health and safety, and this unit overall just performed really well. We beat the crap out of these power stations, and we really, really like them. The idle is a lot better on this one than the old F3800. I believe this one's only about 40 watts or so. And this ties into Anker's home power panel, so you can set it up to do automatic home backup and peak shaving, all that kind of stuff, which is really, really nice. It's very expandable. It's built like a skyscraper, but it's a well-built skyscraper. And right now it's about 2,400 bucks, which is a decent buy considering you still get 240 volts directly out of this unit. This has a 3,840 watt hour battery with a 6,000 watt inverter. It's like the complete opposite of the Elite 400. Next up, we got the EcoFlow Delta Pro 3. This is a 4,000 watt inverter with a 4,000 watt hour battery. This one made the list because compared to the original Delta Pro, it got bigger, it got sleeker, and it's a lot more practical. It has your 30 amp plug on the side. So again, with the wheels and the suitcase handle, this is perfect to take with you if you're going RVing, camping, you just need portable power. It also has the ability to run 120 and 240 directly off of the unit. It would be nice if EcoFlow gave us any other plug than that one. But hey, we work with what we get, I guess. The performance on this unit is great. Obviously, the design is very nice. It's easy to team lift this thing. It's got the wheels and the suitcase handle. The screen is super nice and bright. The expansion batteries are slim and stackable. They're actually really nice how slim they are. Like, they don't take up a lot of room. The old Delta Pro, the expansion battery was the size of the Delta Pro. These ones are about half the size. So that's always a bonus. And the best part about this unit is that it has the AC in-out port that the Delta Pro Ultra also has, which means it works with adapters like the EV adapter or the generator L14 like twist lock adapter. So basically you can put power into this unit or take power out of it at an extremely high rate. If you just plug this into a regular plug in your house, you can charge it at like 1800 watts. But if you use one of those adapters, you can charge this thing at, I think 4,000 watts is like the max you can put into this, which will charge it from 0 to full in about an hour, which is very cool. And aside from EcoFlow making a complete disaster of their new product lineup and releasing the Delta 3 Ultra Plus that looks exactly like this, and people are gonna confuse the two, it's a great unit. It's around $2,300 right now, which makes it a really good buy. The Delta 3 Ultra Plus is specifically a 120 volt unit. We just released a video on it if you guys want to check out that one. It's similar, but it doesn't have any of the 240 volt capabilities. It's a little bit more dumbed down. It's fine. Moving up to even bigger power stations, we got the EcoFlow Delta Pro Ultra. This is a 7,200 watt inverter with 6,000 watt hours of battery in each battery. That's worth mentioning because this is still a unit where the top is just the inverter only. It sits on top of its batteries. You can get this thing up to like 90 kilowatt hours with 3 of them and expansion batteries and stuff. It goes very hard. And this guy made the list again this year because it is just a good unit. It's dead quiet. Like, EcoFlow made this thing make no noise, even under full loads. It performs really, really well in our testing. It has a really good solar input. You have both high and low. It has your AC in out port. So again, it works with those generator and EV charger adapters, as well as some other EcoFlow products. But this one charges at an even higher rate. We've seen it go up to 6,000 watts. I think that they do try to match the rate with the battery. But again, if you just had the setup like this, you could charge this fully in 1 hour with one of those adapters. It works with EcoFlow's smart home panel. So you can do the same thing where you integrate it in your home. It automatically kicks on and kicks off. You can peak shave with it. You can do all kinds of stuff with this. This is like one of the most versatile power stations out there right now. It just weighs a metric shit ton and it's a little awkward to move around. This is built more for like permanent home backup. You can get the carts and stuff if you wanted to move this and take it in an RV, whatever, but we wouldn't really recommend it. This is something that you kind of just want to set up permanently and then just leave it. Otherwise, this thing has tons of plugs and ports. You can pair 2 of them together to double your output. Their little dual hub thing, whatever EcoFlow calls that. This unit is where it starts getting a little expensive though. It justifies the price if you need what it does, but right now this thing is about $5,800, which is a lot, but it's still a good product. So it's like 6, 7. Next up, we have the Bluetti Apex 300. Like we said, Bluetti made a comeback this year with some units that just kind of fill voids that other units weren't filling. This is another very weird numbers. It's got a 3,840 watt inverter. I don't know why it sounds like a battery size and it's an inverter size. Could have rounded either up or down, I would have been fine with it. And it has a 2,764 watt hour battery built in, which is nice because their old like AC lineup with the AC 300 and 500, it was bigger than this and it was just an inverter. This has a battery built into it, which is cool. And though it is small, it's meant to run with expansion batteries. Like this is the system where you buy it with multiple batteries. That's kind of its purpose. And this one made the list because not only did it perform really well in our testing, it was like 85% efficient, and it only had about 20 watts of idle consumption, which for a unit this big is actually like really good. That's pretty much the same as the Elite 400, which is a much smaller unit. But this specifically, we like it because it just makes sense for a permanent backup solution. All the other power stations you've seen are riddled with USBs, 12-volt car sockets, and all these features, which I do love a good 12-volt car socket, and I'm a big fan of a light. But this unit doesn't have any USBs at all. It has literally nothing on it. It runs 120 and 240 volts out of a single unit, and it's meant to be like put in your garage or put in your shed or whatever and permanently set up for home backup. That's what they designed this to do. You add batteries under it. There's literally 4 plugs on the front in case you want to run something off the plugs. Otherwise, you're going to come around to the side here and you're either going to go into your 50 amp or your 30 amp, plug it into a transfer switch and just set it and forget it, which is kind of nice. It's a cheaper unit and it gets rid of all the nonsense that you don't need. And if you do need, you can get adapters. They have like the clip-on USB adapter that you can buy if you want to get a bunch of USB plugs. Using that adapter does occupy one of your expansion battery ports, but if you need it, it's still cool. Now, a lot of times we talk about 12-volt car sockets and things like that we do appreciate having, but for permanent home backup, even like the EcoFlow Delta Pro Ultra, it's got a lot on it that maybe it doesn't need. It just needs to sit in the garage and just perform. And that's what this does. And for $1,400 for just this, it's really just like, it makes sense. You can also buy them in bundles with the batteries. Each battery is the same 2,700, whatever it is, watt hours. And right now this unit with one battery is $2,400. So even if you start stacking the batteries underneath and comparing it to other systems, it just makes sense. And the last unit that we're going to talk about today is the Jackery Explorer 5000 Plus. This was hands down our favorite Jackery that released this year. They released a couple other smaller home power units, but they were good, but they didn't impress us at all. This one stood out. It was a very nice power station. It has a 5,000 watt hour battery with a 7,200 watt inverter, which is the same size as the Delta Pro Ultra, but as a package, it's smaller than the F3800. It's only 1,000 watt hours less than the Delta Pro Ultra, but it is significantly cheaper than that unit. This unit, of course, runs 120 or 240 volts directly off the unit. The solar input is huge, and under this a little awkward trap door, you can fully charge it with solar in about 2 hours, which is really nice, especially considering the size of the battery. The unit is simple, it's got a nice design, the same as the F3800 with the caster wheels and then the wheels on the back and the suitcase handle on the top. It's got your 50 amp plug, which is only 30 amps, and your generator twist lock on the other side. So it's got two 240 volt options. And then the front just has your like classic Jackery look. It's got a couple 120 volt plugs, it's got your USBs. It does retain a 12 volt car socket, which is nice if you're going to be exploring with a unit like this. And it's expandable. It performed really well in our testing, and it seems like this unit, when it was built, was just thought out a little bit more than some of the other units Jackery makes, which just feel like they're thrown out. And Jackery also has a like smart transfer switch. It's basically like not a home power panel type of deal, but it's like a small breaker box that's like a sub panel that plugs directly into this unit, which is kind of cool. It's different than what we've seen some other brands do. We thought it was a very cool product. It makes it very easy to just like disconnect it and take it with you if you're on the go, but also just bring it back to your home, plug it right back in, and boom, you have backup power. And the real kicker is that this unit costs about $2,800 right now, which is a little more than the F3800 Plus, though you are getting a bit more, but it's a lot less than the Delta Pro Ultra, and you're only getting 1,000 watt hours less of battery. So if you're looking for something in that category, honestly, this is a really, really good option. So that is all our favorite big power stations of 2025. Like we said earlier, we will leave links in the description down below, as well as coupon codes, but we would recommend hanging around for our Black Friday video because we have some pretty good deals that we're able to share with you guys that we negotiated to save you as much money as possible. All of these units also come with bundles, so you can buy it with like the expansion batteries or solar panels if you're trying to use it for backup power. But something worth noting too is like almost every single one of these power station companies' solar panels are ridiculously overpriced. We would recommend shopping somewhere like Signature Solar, Shop Solar, even Amazon for your panels, because you can get good panels that aren't these power station brands for significantly less and build a nice system while saving a ton of money. You just gotta make sure that you guys have the right adapters if that's the route that you choose to go. Anyways, those were our favorite power stations. Let us know if you think that we missed any, if there's any that you would like to see us review on the channel. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the Black Friday, Cyber Monday videos that are upcoming. Otherwise, that is all we got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out and stay charged.